आज वेगान डे भी है। आज सबसे बड़ी बात है कि मैं पक्का वेजिटेरियन आदमी, और वो वेगान डे भी है आज, जिसमें वेगान में तो वेजिटेरियन से भी ऊपर की चीज है कि वो लोग तो दूध भी नहीं खाते। दूध में भी वो कहीं ना कहीं जीव को मानते हैं, तो वो वेगान तो और ऊपर की चीज है। तो मैं आदरणीय वैद्य पारुल जोशी जी का स्वागत करता हूँ। स्विच ओवर हो चुकी है, स्विच ओवर हो चुकी है, और इस समय नई लिंक पे आपको ये वेबिनार मिलेगी वेगान डे की। मैं आदरणीय वैद्य पारुल जोशी जी को सादर निमंत्रित करता हूँ। मैडम पारुल जोशी।
गुड इवनिंग सर जी।
वेलकम वेलकम वेलकम।
सभी को आज का मध्य प्रदेश दिन का बहुत बहुत शुभकामना, और वेगान डे का भी बहुत बहुत शुभकामना। तो हम शुरू करते हैं।
जी मैडम, स्वागतम स्वागतम।
So let's talk on Ayurvedic concept to vegan diet.
Welcome.
What is vegan diet? And who is a vegan? Vegan is a person who does not eat meat or any other animal products at all. Vegan person and veganism is a lifestyle that avoids all animal foods such as meat, dairy, eggs, and honey. Animal-derived products like leather and other products, even products tested on animals, are not taken by a vegan. And that is for stopping or staying away from exploitations of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other human purpose. It's a wonderful vision. It's a wonderful way of thinking. It's a wonderful way of living. So people say vegan is vegetarian. As Pawan sir just said, that vegan versus vegetarian, are they the same or they are different? So we can see in the figures that vegetarian diet chart and vegan food pyramid. We call it pyramid, or we can just put it in a chart form also. So in a vegetarian diet, milk is included. In vegan diet, milk or milk products are not included. But even then, the nutritional status remains the same or not. That is what we are going to see over here. Whole food or plant-based diet, the pyramid says it starts with vegetables and fruits of all types. But if we look at the pictures and on the website, we see that they are talking more of non-Indian fruits and vegetables. Even leafy green vegetables, they talk of all non-Indian vegetables. So now the question arises that should we take such, for example, broccoli or cauliflower or this patta gobi and all that? Should we take them? And it's seen that those foods which are not local and are being taken by the people do not give the nourishment they are supposed to give. Why is it so? So the Ayurvedic principle of yasya deshasya yojantuhu, if that is not fulfilled, the Panchapautik Sangathan of the food that we are taking does not mingle with the Panchapautik Sangathan of our body. So if a person from Chennai comes to Ahmedabad and stays over here, after 2 or 3 years, he will not be able to digest the food he used to eat at Chennai. Why is it so? That is the principle of Ayurveda. Yasya deshasya yojantuhu. The person is staying in Ahmedabad, he has to take food from Ahmedabad. That principle, if followed, then the whole food or plant-based diet gives the result we want it to give. Now, high-fat whole foods. These nuts, we have ample of nuts, which we will be seeing in the next slides. So these nuts have high fat diet. They are high fat diets. These legumes and whole grains, we used to take whole grains. Instead of that, we have started taking maida and all that. Roti patli chahiye. So that is a wrong concept, and because of that, we have started having multiple digestive problems. Same way, we used to sprout legumes, we used to sprout grains, and we used to take them. So instead of that, we are taking sprouted vegetables, which is injurious. Sprouted vegetables do not have any nutritional value because all the nutritional value goes in the sprout. Whereas in the grains and in the legumes, the sprouted legumes and sprouted whole grains give us extra nourishment because that chlorophyll has brought in some other macro and micronutrients along with it. Another thing is that whole grains were being taken when in our old days, when our ancestors, they used to take grains, bada dala hua, जैसे हम दलिया बोलते हैं, that dalia used to help us a lot. And now again we are coming to dalia. When I'm talking about dalia, I remember whenever I used to go to Pondicherry Sri Aurobindo Ashram, they use dalia, and that dalia is a very positive diet, a very sattvic diet, and that helps maintain the health of the person taking the diet. So now, certain, 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please. Somebody has played mischief. Anyway, let's go ahead. So, certain plant products that have left our plate. And so, we Indians are from childhood to old age. Everyone is having some or the other nutritional deficiencies. These nutritional deficiencies were not found in our, at least, next previous generation. Oh, why has that arisen? Because in the millets, seeds, plants, stems, they used to use whole plants, stems, underground stems, and even flowers were used as vegetables. And this, for example, they have started using moringa, moringa flowers, moringa stems, moringa barks. They have started using moringa like anything. It's not like that. You can't use things like that. You need to see what is good, what is bad. For example, makhanna is used, lotus seed, उसको फोड़ के उसका पॉपकॉर्न बना के उसको मखन्ना की तरह यूज करते हैं. That makhanna is highly nutritive. But if excessive use of makhanna is done, then it leads to indigestion. The same kamalakanda was used as vegetable, and those vegetables were boiled, some salt, some black pepper, some haldi put, and that was eaten. And because of that, the female health, both the organs, the breast and the genitals, were taken care of by those lotus kamalkanda. Even lotus bij, they were eaten raw. So these have left our plates, and that is the cause of many problems we are facing at present.
क्या कर रहे बेटा? अच्छा, अच्छी बात है. ये दरवाजा काय खोल गए तुम लोग?
Should I continue, sir ji?
मैं सभी से आग्रह करूंगा कि अपना माइक म्यूट रखें. आदरणीय राकेश प्रकाश निगम जी, काइंडली अपना माइक अनम्यूट ना करें. कृपया अपना माइक म्यूट रखें. जी, kindly continue, Parul.
See, in a plate, we can see that there are grains, starchy vegetables, There are beans and lentils, there are vegetables, seeds and nuts and fruits. So this much, even if it is taken raw, is highly nutritive and easily digestible. That is the charm of this plate. And it's tasty also. Now, what they are saying is plant-based versus vegan. Now, when this is from US FDA, and they say that milk, seafood, eggs, and dairy are maybe plant-based diet. They may be whole food plant-based diet, because those animals or sea animals or the eggs and dairy, they all are eating plants. So they can be called a plant-based diet, or they can be called whole food plant-based diet. But that's not true. You can't call it that way. Because I want to eat meat, I can say that it is plant-based diet. That is cheating oneself. So what is a vegan, plant-based, and a whole food diet? You can see that only 3 things qualify: whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and legumes. Others, no other products qualify for being a vegan diet, plant-based diet, or whole food plant-based diet. This is a vegetarian and vegan diet pyramid. You can see options for vegetarians contains eggs and dairy, yogurt, cheese, cottage cheese. How can they be vegetarian? Yes, in Ahmedabad and even in Gujarat, many places in Gujarat, I have seen Jain eggs, Jain chicken. So that is they are just cheating. And whenever I went to Jain people and said, do you know about Jain eggs, Jain chicken? They said, how can that be Jain? I said, that's what the title says on the shops. But that's wrong. But somebody is going there and eating it. And because of the title on the shops, they are getting misguided, or maybe they are doing it because they want to do it. So these things are misguiding many people. And my patients also ask me that if it is on the net, can we eat eggs? We are vegetarians, but we eat eggs. No, if you are vegetarians, you can't eat eggs. Same way, you cannot eat chicken also. Here, you can see that in a conference on cancer, they had recommended no refined oil, not to refine oil. And that is what I have been saying since many decades, that please use only sieved oil, direct, ashuddha hi use karo, and that is going to help us. No milk of animal origin. They recommend soya milk, but those who cannot digest soya should not take soya milk also. Same way, no soda, no refined sugar, no microwave ovens. That needs to be emphasized on. Same way, vegetables, honey instead of sugar, plant proteins, they help. Food should be warm, not heated. It should be warm, freshly prepared. Same way, carrot juice. Instead of carrot juice, I would prefer eating carrots itself. Same way, tomato can be eaten raw or thoda chok ke kha sakte hain. People take onion raw, and that is contraindicated. Ayurveda does not allow taking raw onion. Thoda chok ke khana chahiye, because it's too hard to digest. Same way, garlic is very, very hot. So in a pregnant woman, I don't advise tomato, garlic, onion, and carrot. Same way, aloe vera also. The basic nutrition. Knowledge about nutrition and diet keeps changing as more is learned, and basic nutrition remains much the same. Yes, we don't know many things. In an age which is called a scientific age, we don't know many things because we have just forgotten many terms. And because of that, we are not able to understand what our Shastras, what our seniors, what our predecessors were telling or trying to convey. So best advice is to talk to an expert for personalized information based on individual lifestyle, food likes and food dislikes. So that has to be taken care of. The basic nutrition is diet based on major food groups, vegetables, whole grains, and dairy. Lean proteins. There's another term that has come around. Beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, healthy fats. They are called lean proteins. And you see that seafoods are everywhere. I want to add one thing here. When we had a workshop of 3 days with Sports University, Gandhinagar, that's called Swarnim Gujarat Sports University, those trainers said that, our dietitians say that every sports person needs to take non-veg diet. Without enough proteins, you will not be able to perform. So I asked them, did Dara Singh ever take any non-vegetarian, even eggs? Did he ever take? No. Did our hockey king ever take non-vegetarian? No. Then how did they perform so well that the new generation is not able to perform? So the basic concept is, since childhood, the child has to be taken care of, and that is what is not done. Once the child becomes a youth, he is forced, take this, take this, take this, and he is not able to digest. And on the contrary, he suffers from many elementary diseases. So that is an outcome of this misconceptions and misunderstandings and not knowing the proper things. So healthy diet can replace diets for weight loss. So you need not go for a diet restriction. Instead of that, take a healthy diet, and the vegan diet helps reduce extra weight, helps eliminate diseases related to lifestyle and weight gain and all that. Eating healthy with physical exercises, and practicing moderation, that is avoiding excess or other extremes, leads to better health in the long run. Both centennial and Ayurvedic diet are vegan. Ayurveda follows the principles of ahimsa, non-violence. So animal protein is acquired from cultured, grass-fed, organic, unprocessed dairy. This is what the internet says. Ayurveda emphasizes on eating seasonal fruits, vegetables, and grains, and that is ideal in a vegan diet. At the intersection of Ayurveda, vegan, and diet, there's a strong connection between body, mind, and that can be maintained by mindful living and eating. Mindfulness is very much needed. If this is done, then it helps maintain Sharira, Sattva, Mana, and Atma health standard. So that is what Ayurveda has said. Sattvamatma Shariram cha Trayam etat Tridandavat. They are the 3 pods which keeps a person healthy, an alive person healthy. Lokas tishtati sanyogat. The whole universe is on these tripod. And the sutra of Sushruta is Atha Bhuta Dayam Prati, which is fulfilled in this vegan diet and vegan lifestyle. So even the US Department of Agriculture has said a healthy balanced diet is that contains right amounts of all food groups. Eating wrong amounts of food groups is unhealthy or unbalanced diet. Healthy diet includes more foods from plants and fewer convenience foods. this fewer convenience foods has to be remembered by us. See their pyramid of healthy balanced diet. This pyramid contains 90% unhealthy foods. And this is what, see, the bakery items, there are 6 to 10 servings. The person will never remain healthy. Their lifestyle is very much different from ours, and that's why people going to America suffer from digestive problems. And I have to tell them that, see, you just landed there, so don't leave Indian diet. Try and see you get Indian food there. So, and when they adopt it, they come out of those digestive problems. So the take home message is go vegan. Veganism helps. It helps our intellect, it helps our Atma, and it helps us remain mentally, socially, physically, emotionally, and Atmic healthy. So thank you very much. Pawan Saab.
Excellent, madam. Excellent. Very nice. Nicely explained the difference of vegetarianism and veg. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
You are inspiring as always. Agnihotri, sir.
Hello, Pawan ji.
Thank you.
Yes,
Namaskar.
just after Agnihotri ji, I would like to welcome you.
Yeah, give me a signal. I will start. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Parul Joshi ji. Really, it may be any subject. That makes no difference for your oration. And same was today's address. It was a new term in the sense that vegan diet is something different from even a pure vegetarian diet. But special points which you raised, especially Jain eggs and Jain chicken, that itself made very clear that how persons are making fool, saying that using the word Jain. So the super and superior class of non-taking even anything from a non-veg side, that class Jain is also been exploited in such type of words. So this is really means malpractice. It should not be there. As per as the contents of the vegan diet is concerned, you touched everything. It is nowhere concerned with the lesser calories, so one can manage himself, herself as per the directions. If they are really interested to keep away the dairy products and egg and non-veg diet, even the such things which are not falling under the category of vegan diets. So thank you so much for your such a enlightened address for us all. Thank you so much. Over to Pawan Sharma.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Madam Parulji. Thank you very much. Now I would like to request Dr. Sakat Vasu from Canada. Welcome. Welcome, Dr. Sakat. And it is also surprising, really extremely surprising, that a Bengali is speaking in favor of vegan. Excellent. Great moment of the webinar. Welcome.
They say that the fishes are the vegetarian diet.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Can I start now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, and I welcome everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to this platform. And I first want to congratulate Dr. Sharma and the entire team for being in the India Book of Records. I think it's a fabulous work for continuing this seminar for the webinars for such a long time. And I have recommended Dr. Sharma that we should apply for the Guinness Book of World Record form. So I am looking into their forms, Dr. Sharma, and I will soon forward you all the details and the documentation in your WhatsApp account, and you can go through them. And it's not a very difficult process to go through. It takes some time after you apply for this position for them to get back to you. There is a 12 weeks time, after which they get back and then they will do the assessment. And I think you have a very good chance for the Independent Research Ethics Society and the team to win either Limca Book or Guinness Book of World Records. We should give it a try. And next, I'd like to thank my previous speaker for very nicely elucidating and presenting the importance of vegan diet. What I'm going to talk about is uh, vegan, like 70% of the Indian population, has been vegetarian for like a historic time. And India has been a major vegetarian, vegan country. But this vegan concept is a little bit more new approach in the Western countries, and they draw a lot of inspiration from India. I do not know how many people are aware of this, but it is catching up in the West, and there are some reasons. So I'm going to talk about the vegan movement, or the vegan perspective, or the choice of vegan foods that is taking quite a serious route in the Western countries, including Canada. So my highlights would be mostly not India, but the inspiration of India in getting into a vegan diet in European countries, in United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and similar Western democracies. Now, there is a little difference between an Indian vegetarianism concept and the Western vegan concept. The major thing is it depends from one country to another how vegan food is defined. So in many Western countries, egg is considered a vegan product, and they consider it as a part of your vegan diet. And in again, many countries, dairy products, because they come from animals, so that whether it's milk or cheese or yogurt, it's considered as not a vegan product like in India. It's considered as a non-vegetarian product, and it's not included in that vegan part. So, based on country to country, based on from one culture to another, vegetarianism has a very different definition, and that definition does not always fall with the direct definition of how we define vegan food from an Indian perspective. So vegan does not necessarily mean only a vegetarian diet in the Western countries, or a diet which is rich in vegetables, fruits, nuts, and dairy products. So, again, in some countries, particularly in parts of Canada, vegan food does not include egg, and in some part it includes egg as a vegetarian product. Now, the important thing to investigate at this point of time is why in the Western countries, which were so much predominantly their traditional diet has been beef and potatoes for a long historic time, why suddenly they are moving from this into a vegan diet. Now, Western research, particularly in the case of allelopathic medical research, and also in case of research on medicinal plant chemistry, it has been increasingly proved through various research papers. And there is nothing new that I'm suggesting, is that red meat has detrimental effect in our health. Whether you are having cholesterol-related problems, heart-related ailments that comes from all these kinds of diet. I'm not going to illustrate those facts once more time. But this is not the only factor that has been attracting Western people more towards this vegetarian diet. Now, one of the significant aspects of Western vegetarianism or vegan food movement that we have been talking about is prevention of cruelty against animals. Now, we come from the country of India, where we treat the cows at the Gaumata. We have a traditional history of being in association with the nature. We have a love for our livestock. This has not been the same case in case of Western countries, because they go for extensive agricultural mass production. Sometimes this mass production goes through a process in which animals do suffer extensively while they are being processed, whether it could be a poultry processing process, it could be a dairy system, it could be a meat or beef production system, or it could be a mutton or any other animal meat that is being processed. Now, there has been an increasing social movement that has been happening, or an environmental movement that has been taking roots for quite some time in the Western countries. And one of them has been that prevent cruelty against animal. And to prevent cruelty against animal, one has to turn towards vegetarianism, because if you are so much dependent on animal-based food, then we are going to seriously inflict torture on the animals. Although the slaughter is highly instrumentalized, and they do claim that there is kind of a mercy killing, that minimal pain is inflicted in killing the animals, whether it's duck, goose, peas, or whether it's beef, or whether it's cows, or oxes, or whatever process is. But a significant part of the population is now thinking that no matter how humane do we go through this process, there is a pain. Like whenever you are killing an animal, we are inflicting pain on the animals. And over the years, there has been a trend of increased adoption of Buddhism in the Western countries. I mean, although strictly in Buddhism, there is no restriction on the kind of diets that you are taking, but there is a philosophy of not inflicting torture or not being cruel to animals, particularly, so that like we are causing harm to them. But because of this Western philosophy that is now intermingling a lot with Buddhism becoming extremely popular in the Western democracies, including some aspects of Jainism, where it is very nature-based, where we are very forgiving, that we should take care of animals, we should not be harming the plants, and blah, blah, blah. All these things have been taken a strong root that has led towards a very strong acceptability of a vegan diet in Western countries. Now, by saying this, I'm not saying that the entire Western countries are now moving towards a vegetarianism, which is not technically possible because it's a wide, large population. Various cultures are there, and there are some cultures, particularly say for in extreme northern parts of Canada, which is in polar areas, or in the parts of Siberia, or in other parts of the polar regions of Norway, Sweden, Denmark, these kind of countries, or mostly the Lapland areas, there is very little opportunities for people to grow vegetables. There is no crop production in this area, particularly even in Central Asia and other countries but the nature of the environment is such that you are dependent traditionally on your meat supply for a long periods of history. So it's not very easy for people to change their diet in that particular sense. But the benefit of vegetarian diet, in addition to the philosophical movements that has been taking strong roots in Western countries, has been promoting vegetarian food. Now, if you are flying in international flights, you will definitely get options for Indian vegetarianism, Western vegetarian dishes and stuff. So there is lots of choices while you are traveling in an international flights, because people are getting more and more aware, more and more sensitive towards people's choice of food, and they are making it available to others. And sometimes it is a bit more costly than the conventional food. But with the organic food movement also taking deep roots in the Western countries, there is a very increased interest in vegetarian food. And say the Hearts and Strokes Society of Canada and the United States and in other developed countries, they are highly suggesting that if you are exclusively dependent on meat-based products for the rest of your life, and if you are going into fast food like burgers and those kind of food, which are very fast processed, use a lot of saturated and saturated fat and trans fat, these are detrimental to your health, and this is going to impact. And this has been taught in schools, colleges, high schools, universities, and it's slowly over the time is taking a little bit of the public awareness where they are getting interested, and many people are incorporating. I will not say that they are turning extremely vegan, but they are turning what you can call is a selective vegetarianism, where they are incorporating more vegetables into their diet. They are not eliminating eggs or red meat or white meat completely from their diet, but there is definitely an interest in the increase of vegetables, in the increase of green salads, which is being incorporated in the food, which was a bit quite unheard of even 10, 20, 15 years back in the Western countries, because they were so much dependent on beef and potatoes and beans. But now with the risk of heart diseases, cancer, even dental decay and other diseases where people do not take proper precaution in cleaning their teeth properly or do not floss properly, they are finding that people are having a lot more problem with non-vegetarian diet. And particularly in cases of a lot of ailments, people are now being suggested, even in case of osteoporosis and stuff, that slowly transform into a vegetarian diet. Or as you are getting older, you may be raised on meat, but as you are getting older, you are crossing 50, you're crossing 55 and 60, it is good for you, if you want to live healthy, if you want to live active for a longer time. Not only you should go for exercises, you should also go for vegan diet, or go for more vegetables and incorporation in the food. In the school system, there is a not a midday meal kind of a concept in the Western countries, but children are provided with food in some countries. And in most cases, these foods have been extensively what we call is a fast food, like fries, burgers, etc., chips, pops, which means soft drinks that are being served to the kids. And you know, in Western countries, and particularly in North America, there is a high incidence of kid obesity. Like children at the age of 10, children at the age of 12 or 14 are becoming extremely obese. And I mean, and this is impacting their lifestyle, this is impacting their life expectancy and health. So all these factors have contributed towards vegetarianism. But there is also one important factor that has contributed, other than the philosophical change in the look of lifestyle. Ravi Shankar has been doing, or Baba Ramdev has done a lot of programs in the Western countries, and they are becoming increasingly popular. And they're talking about not only yoga, they are not only talk about peaceful life, or like, you know, the art of life, they are also talking about the art of eating too. So Western societies and customs, as they are getting to know more and more India, and more Ayurvedic formulations, more and more of these traditional system of medicine that has been introduced, people are appreciating, and this COVID has opened a lot of opportunities in that particular sense, and people are getting into more into vegan part. But this has also led to a challenge of extreme veganism in Western countries, where people have eliminated, and they are almost very similar to Indian diets, where they are taking up diets in the sense like vegetables along with dairy products, or people have become extreme diets in which they are taking only fruits. Such a diet is called fruitarian. Or if they're taking proteins, the only form of protein that they take is sometimes eggs, or sometimes a little bit of dairy. But there has been some health-related implications to that. People who are extensively dependent on fruits, and those who have diabetes and other complexities or heart-related ailments, they are overeating a lot of fruits, and they are not being able to, you know, digest, or their body is not being able to process this all the time, the complex sugars that they are coming from the food. Many are getting sick. So they are talking about a balanced diet, like have vegetables, but do not go extreme towards only green leaf vegetables or only fruits and nothing else in your diet, because that imbalances your diet, and you should be looking for a more balanced diet. So these were the factors that are really coming up with the vegan idealism. But the one that I have seen has really impacted people to turn into a bit towards vegetarianism in even those families that are extreme beef, potato dependent diet, is the incidence of increasing various forms of cancer in the Western countries. You know, Western people, or I want to say people of European origin, do not have melanin pigment. So they're usually very sensitive to sunlight or ultraviolet radiation. In many countries, they suffer from skin cancer, which is not that big in India, but it's a big problem in Western countries, where they have this habit of going out in the sun for a very long time. And they also have a habit of having barbecued food. Like, you know, even in India, we are having barbecued meat products, and we also have barbecue nations and other vendors like Flame and Grill, where they have a lot of barbecued vegetables that they are providing. In Western countries, for a long time, particularly after the winter, then they have this short summer. They are extremely fond of barbecued food, and they go for going for barbecue diet almost 7 days a week. Various forms of barbecue. This could be seafood. This could be terrestrial animals like beef and goat or mutton or whatnot, chicken and whatnot. As also they roast a little bit of vegetables. But it was a very much barbecue dependent diet. Now, over the years, it has been found that the way these ovens are made, they're actually producing a strong crust of carbon on the top of these meat products that they're preparing. And many times they are extremely carcinogenic. They are not being removed. Like if you ever had a chance to go to China, you will see that they will roast the food or they will barbecue it, but then they will use a scraper and they will scrape the outsider part of the fruit that they have barbecued. And only then they consume it. But in Western countries, they will barbecue and they will have this whole thing going inside them without really actually curing the outer parts. And in most of the time, particularly if your oven is old, if your oven is cheaper, they regenerate a lot of carbon depositions. And there has been, just like smoking, there has been found a strong correlation of taking too much of barbecue food into your system throughout the summer, that's impacting stomach cancer and other related intestinal, anal, well, anything that deals with your digestive tract. There is a lot of increase in cancer because of this barbecue food. It hasn't been replaced because it's an extremely popular form of preparation of food in the Western countries, particularly in the cold countries during the summer. But this incidence or enhancement of cancer in the digestive system, in your intergastrointestinal system, that has been happening, and repeatedly, it has been now recommended that people should, if you are too much dependent on barbecued food, you should be including equivalent amount of vegetables like raw green vegetables or other kind of fibers to be incorporated in your diet. This has also promoted this fear of cancer, or this incidence or increase in the incidence of cancer has also introduced a lot of an area for vegan food, or a lot of interest in incorporating vegan food in the diet. Organic food is expensive in the Western countries, but it is getting popular. So say, for example, if a potato is $2 or a packet of potatoes is $5 or $10, and an organic production at the same time is like $15, $20, $25 a bag, which could be 10, 15 pounds weight. But there are customers who are willing to pay this extra amount for having a safe food free from all kinds of carcinogenic toxic chemicals, free from all kinds of pesticide, insecticide, also free from all kinds of animal manure, like the feces, the urine of animals that are produced in the livestock system in Western countries. These are used as organic manure in the field for the production of crop, for the product in the orchards, in the gardens. But because people who are extremely vegetarian, they do not wish to have any kind of animal product even used as a fertilizer during the production process. So many are going for organic production, other than that no chemicals is being used. So this is another very important factor that has contributed to this Western veganism. As also there is, as I mentioned, that because of these religious practices, ISKCON has done a significant, great job in the Western countries, and a lot of people are taking interest in Hinduism, and they are also looking into the Vedic literature, and at the same time, they are incorporating more and more vegetarianism in their life. No doubt, people who have undergone changed their diet from non-veg to veg has always contributed significantly, and they found that their health has improved. Blood counts and cancer-related issues or diabetes-related issues where they had used to have problem, by incorporating more vegetables in their diets, there has been a significant improvement in their health concerns, and there has been controlled studies with this. So all these factors have had a tremendous boost for vegetarian diet now in the Western countries. But as I mentioned, that the concept of vegetarianism is a little bit different in the Western countries compared to India. But no doubt, India globally has made a significant impact on the importance of vegetarian diet, because even doctors, when you go to a Western doctors, when they're recommending for vegetarian food and people are saying, oh, how would I survive only living on vegetables, they give example of India for a significant number of time, that if you are not a sports person, or if you are not an army personnel, or where you do not need huge amount of calorie for doing a particular part of a project or a particular kind of work, for a normal life or for a normal semi-active life, your vegetarian diet will help significantly to overcome a lot of long-term diseases, lifestyle diseases, constipation related process problems is a big thing in Western countries, because their diet used to be very, very much meat based, and if you are too much on the red meat, there will be severe constipation processes, and that leads to hemorrhoids, develop rupture of the anal tissues, and they have a lot of problem in clearing their bowels, which leads to other kinds of stomach related problems. Taking fibers has impacted significantly. Diabetes too is dietitians are suggesting to incorporate more fibers into the diet to have a healthy lifestyle. So all these factors are contributing significantly now in the Western countries for it becoming a very, very popular movement. So this is how the Western perspective look right now for increase of Western change in the Western diet and incorporating more of a semi-Indian diet incorporating into their lifestyle. Being an Indian, I feel really very proud about this, and happy to share that it has turned into a very strong movement. And even in schools and colleges, and even young kids who are very conscious about their figures, and they're adding up weights and stuff, and they are getting more into vegetables and fruits. It's just they never used to take it. But because you want to have a very slender slice, nice shape of your body, you do not want to add up too much carbohydrates into your system, to not load up yourself with too much of junk foods, or the synthetic cola drinks that we are so much addicted. For a healthy lifestyle and a healthy diet, they are moving into vegetarianism. So this is to some extent a big soft power for India, and we should be promoting various kind of combinations of diets that people will be interested in, and to add more variation. For example, one of the things that is suggested by the Hearts and Strokes Association of Canada and United States is that to include at least 5 colored food in your diet, by which they mean it's not added color or food color that you are supposed to include in your food, but have at least 5 items in your diet that are of different colors. So you have leafy green vegetables, that makes you green. You take some carrot, that gives you an orange color. If you're taking beetroots or related beta-cyan pigments, whichever vegetables you have, there is an anthocyanin, very rich cabbages that are becoming extremely popular. And then you have tomatoes, you have various colored peppers that are very common part of Western salad dishes right now. So they are incorporating a 5-colored food in your incorporation by including 5 colored vegetables, which are 5 different kinds of pigmentation, whether it's anthocyanin pigment, whether it's carotenoids A, B, or whether there is xanthophyll A, B, C, D, E. All these kind of plant materials or phytochemicals which are present in the plants. Some of them are used in the synthesis of storage of food. Some of them are used by the plants for the production and synthesis of the glucose for them to survive, is being utilized in a different way to incorporate the richness of your diet, the variety of your diet, and at the same time to increase the nutritional quality of your diet at the same time. So veganism is becoming extremely popular, and even if people are not turning into 100% vegetarianism, at least they are taking their diet into 30 to 40% vegetables included in their diet, which I think is a big victory for vegan movement all over the world, as people are introducing them and incorporating them more on their diet. The last but not the least of this vegan movement, which is very challenging, and it's not a very good story, and it's also, I think, a little bit challenging in case of India too, is the production of, right now, if you go into Western stores, you will get a lot of sausage, salamis, all kinds of Western meats. These are meat which are produced from soybean, but they are chemically processed. There is actually no meat, but there is added flavor, added color, added to soybean to mimic the taste of meat, to mimic the taste of sausage, to mimic the taste of salami that is being used in vegan pizzas and all kinds of diet. But the research indicates also that whenever you are going into the synthetic meat production, which is mostly plant, they are 100% plant, but they are being added extra color, extra flavor, extra other chemicals to make this transformation of this external taste of that particular vegetable, because to make them more palatable. That is not a very good diet option, but this is also becoming very popular. There are packed foods of this new synthetic vegetable food, which is extensively chemical based, that is also being incorporated in the diet, and it's becoming very popular with the younger generation. These are now slowly getting available in big supermarkets and the superstores in India too. That's not a very healthy diet choice to my mind. It's also a kind of a fast food, and because they are going through a lot of color changes, color transformation, chemicals being added to give to the added flavor and taste of meat to a vegetable product, it is incorporating a lot of chemicals, which if you continuously eat for a very long time, it is going to impact your life. And the other part is the frozen vegetables. The processed frozen vegetables, canned food, even if you are taking vegetables, they are chemically processed, and it's not a very good healthy diet that you are taking. It is better to take meat then, rather than having frozen vegetables, once in a while it's okay. Once in a while, when you have no other options, it is okay. But if someone is extremely dependent on frozen meat, canned food, canned sausages, canned fruits and other products, vegetables even vegetables, they are being processed with a lot of preservative chemicals, and the long-term impact on the health is not very good. This should be avoided. With this, I would like to thank you one more time. This is all I had to suggest and talk about the Western perspective. Thank you very much. I am done, and if you have any questions, you are more than I am more than happy to include that.
Thank you, Dr. Shaukar Sharma ji. Really, you touched the whole area, and since you are living in out of country from India, so you have visited all the sectors and all the say possibilities in European countries and also Western approach, and that too in a comparison to the Indian understanding regarding the vegan diet. It's very natural because you have seen world, I should say, and the differences between the understanding of the persons, those who are strictly restricting themselves not to go for any of the dairy item or the animal item or even the derivatives. That category is different, and for that I think I should say that you have used the word fruitarians. Naturally, they completely depend on the fruits. That's good, and fruit should also be not to be say grown in a form of any of the use of say any dairy products. Sometimes the person use sirka or the even cow milk to take a better crop. So that should also be taken care of. So
I mean,
so
there
much.
is a preponderance of synthetic fruits, synthetic,
Right.
meat. These are not good options. Like it is better to have a real meat rather than having synthetic meat for a long time.
These are going to spoil the whole gut.
Yes. But the world is changing. There is no doubt that the world is changing, and there is a strong interest. And people have realized through medical research, through plant research, that definitely plants are more helpful.
Say means Jainism and Buddhism based concept. If we go for that. That will make it very clear, because I visited Bangkok and there I found that I put a question that ahimsa paramo dharma, and again they are eating all these things, so they were not they reply, you see what they replied, they say, you Indian, you assassinated Mahatma Gandhi. We told like this. How funny it is. It was such, it was a sort of escape answer.
Definitely.
Anyway,
thank you.
Concept. Thank you so much. Thank you
very much.
Thank you for joining us.
Sure. And I also extend my sincere gratitude to you for this great achievement of being the longest learning webinars. And I'm going to send a lot of materials to Dr. Sharma in his WhatsApp to pursue our Guinness World Book of Records. Yeah.
If it will be your say contribution to this whole scenario of the webinar which Dr. Pawan Sharma ji is making all.
Yes, and it's not easy. Like to continue day after day and being focused, it is very challenging. So I thank everyone for
you might have seen you might have heard today's webinar based was on Madhya Pradesh Vaidya Parampara.
Yes.
With this view, I also just got a point that on 9th of November our Uttarakhand was established from Uttar Pradesh. It was so on 9th November there may be a Uttarakhand Vaidya Parampara. This
very nice.
Professor Pawan Sharma ji definitely like to have it. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Namaste.
Over to Pawan Sharma ji. आप सर म्यूट है प्रोफेसर पवन शर्मा जी, आप म्यूट हैं.
हरिओम जी सर. Now I would like to request Awasthi ji, Sachin Awasthi ji, then Dr. Leena ji, Leena Karekar ji. Mr. Sachin Awasthi ji, welcome.
नमो नारायण शर्मा जी, सबका स्वागत है. धन्यवाद मुझे बोलने का मौका दिया. मैं एक्चुअली भांग में काम करता हूं, जो लोग मुझे नहीं जानते वो उनके लिए बता दूं. एक स्टार्टअप है हमारा जिसपे हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ कैनबिस पे काम कर रहे हैं. आज वीगन विषय था, इसलिए
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही अवस्थी जी. अवस्थी जी,
उनका कनेक्शन से एकदम से कट के पता नहीं क्या हुआ।
हरिओम अवस्थी जी,
एकदम
योर
से
वॉइस इज नॉट कमिंग। डॉक्टर लीना जी, डॉक्टर लीना कारेकर जी, स्वागतम मैडम। डॉक्टर लीना जी, would you like to say something on vegan? आज पारुल जी ने बहुत ही अच्छा एक्सप्लेन किया। मैं तो अभी भी आज भी कंफ्यूज था वेगान और वेजिटेरियन में। मैं आदरणीय वीके अग्निहोत्री सर से अनुरोध करता हूं कंक्लूड करने के लिए। आज ये बहुत दिनों बाद पहली वेबिनार है जहां दो वेबिनार हो गई और दोनों वेबिनार 9 बजे निपट गए। अरे बड़ा ग्रेट।
हाँ,
ऐसे ही
ये
छोटे
तो
छोटे
नहीं, ऐसी कृपा रोज बनी रहे तो अच्छा है। 9 बजे के बाद लोग अपना काम रखे तो अपना ये टाइम बढ़िया रहेगा, 7 to 9।
कल की
चलिए,
वेबिनार 9 बजे से रखी है एक्सपेरिमेंट में।
अब अच्छा, तब तो शायद हम पहुंच जाएंगे शिलोंग, शायद 9:30 10 तक पहुंचना है। 5:45 तो पहुंच रहे हैं वहां पर। चलिए, तो आज आपने जो 2 टॉपिक्स पर आज की वेबिनार कर ली, ये बहुत ही सुखद अनुभूति हुई। और विशेष रूप से आज हम लोग पुराने, जब से मध्य प्रदेश अस्तित्व में आया तब से क्या क्या आयुर्वेद की स्थिति रही और फिर उसमें राजकीय प्रेशर कितना मिला, जिससे सन 1962 से फिर ऑनवर्ड से पहले फैमिली प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट हुआ करता था, फैमिली परिवार कल्याण मंत्रालय हुआ करता था, और उसके बाद से स्टैब्लिश हुआ होते होते अपडेट हो गया। और आज की तारीख में हमारे जो अखिलेश भार्गव जी और प्रोफेसर निगम साहब जितना सब बता गए, और स्पेशली खलकर साहब ने, डीन साहब ने जो पूरा किस्सा बताया कि कितनी प्रोजेक्ट्स आज की तारीख में आयुर्वेद को बेस करके, आयुर्वेद की मशीनरी को उपयोग करते हुए, चाहे वो मेडिकल ऑफिसर हैं, हमारे फार्मासिस्ट भाई हैं, और हमारी पूरी टीम है जो कर रही है। इससे घर घर में आयुर्वेद का जो स्लोगन है वो जनता तक पूरे जागरूकता के साथ में पहुंच रहा है। और ये परंपरा, चूंकि मध्य प्रदेश एक बहुत बड़ा प्रदेश है, बहुत बड़ा प्रदेश है, तो वो इसमें निश्चित रूप से और भी अग्रणी भूमिका निभाएगा और इसका विस्तार विकास होता चला जाएगा। हमारी इस वैद्य परंपरा में जो कई पीढ़ियां जुड़ी, उससे आपका एक भाव भी सामने आया कि ऐसे हमारे वॉलंटियर्स हमारे आज की तारीख में जो आयुर्वेद में काम कर रहे हैं और जिनका लिंक इसमें हमारे बुजुर्ग लोगों के साथ है, बुजुर्ग वैद्यों के साथ में है, तो वो अगर एक थोड़ा सा एनलिस्टिंग कर लेते हैं, उनके थोड़ा 10-5 मिनट का इंटरव्यू भी ले लेते हैं, नाम और उनका डिटेल ले लेंगे, तो ये मध्य प्रदेश की वैद्य परंपरा के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी धरोहर बन जाएगा। देखते हैं सब लोग इसमें सहयोग से काम करेंगे। और आज की दूसरी जो टॉपिक रही आज की वेबिनार की, वो बनी हमारी वेगन कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ डाइट। हम उसको इनसे बोलेंगे कि ये एक्चुअली एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, और इन्होंने जैसे कहा भी, हमारे अभी सौगत साहब कह रहे थे कि ये सिंपल ये नहीं कि हम क्या खाएं क्या ना खाएं, इट हैज चैलेंज टू ईच एंड एवरी स्ट्रॉन्ग मूवमेंट, कि इस मूवमेंट को कैसे चलाया जाए, जिसमें कि मेरे ख्याल से एक हमारे, हमने सुना है हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश में हुआ करता था जीव दया मंडल, तो संभवतः जीव दया मंडल के कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ में कि हम जीवों पर दया करें। दया के अभिप्राय ये होगा कि उनकी हम हिंसा ना करें और उनके स्वाभाविक मृत्यु होने पर भी उनको मनुष्य के समान ही, जैसे उनका जो अंतिम संस्कार होकर के चलें, उनके मांस भक्षण और उसकी प्रोडक्ट्स की बात ना आए। अब जब दूध और हनी तक अगर इसमें वेगन वाले इतने ही स्ट्रिक्ट हो जाते हैं, फिर तो बहुत ही सरल तरीके से पचाए गए, बनाए गए जो फ्रूट्स रहेंगे, वही फिर सामान्य लोगों के लिए, जनता के लिए खाने के लिए रह जाएंगे। तो एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, इसमें ये सोचना तो व्यर्थ है, जैसे कि मैडम पारुल जी ने बताया कि दारा सिंह ने कभी नॉनवेज नहीं लिया, तो ऐसी चीजें इसमें ये भ्रम या मिथक टूट जाना चाहिए कि नॉन वेज डाइट जो एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी देती है या एक्स्ट्रा उससे पावर मिलती है और वो वेज की डाइट, वेजिटेरियन डाइट की तुलना में ज्यादा कारगर है, तो ये मिथक टूटना चाहिए। और वेगान वाले जिस समय और आगे आगे बढ़ेंगे तो ये इस मेथड को ढूंढने में और आसानी ही हो जाएगी, बल्कि ज्यादा ही प्योरीफाइड हो जाएगा। तो आज के सभी गेस्ट स्पीकर्स जो हमारे मध्य प्रदेश की वैदिक परंपरा में अपने ज्ञान से हम लोगों को लाभान्वित कराया, उन सबका बहुत बहुत हृदय से आदर सहित उनका धन्यवाद है, आभार है। और हमारी वेगन डाइट पर जो कॉन्सेप्ट आए हैं, विशेष रूप से मैडम पारुल जोशी जी का और अपने शौकत शर्मा जी का, उन लोगों ने ये चीजें आज एक शांत मस्तिष्क में तरंगित करने के लिए डाल दी कि अब डिसाइड यूजर को करना है, यूजर को डिसाइड करना है कि उसे क्या खाना है, और उसकी गुणवत्ता के आधार पर यदि वो निर्णय लेते हैं तो जो उनके पास स्वास्थ्य है वो निश्चित रूप से बेहतर होगा। इस बात की कोई आशंका करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि यदि हम नॉन वेज डाइट नहीं लेंगे तो हम कमजोर रहेंगे, हमारा स्वास्थ्य, मनोशारीरिक स्वास्थ्य में कोई कमी आ जाएगी। इन्हीं सब शब्दों के साथ में हम आज के समस्त अपने श्रोता, दर्शक और अतिथि जो वक्ता थे उन सबका धन्यवाद करते हैं, आप सबका अभिनंदन करते हैं। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। नमस्कार, आभार, शुक्रिया। और ओवर टू पवन शर्मा जी। नमस्कार जी सर।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका, सभी
जी।
वक्ताओं का और डॉक्टर लीना कार्यकर जी का।
जी
डॉक्टर लीना जी जुड़ी हुई हैं लेकिन कुछ आशीर्वाद नहीं दे रही हैं।
हाँ,
डॉक्टर लीना कार्यकर जी,
या तो
आर वी ऑडिबल टू यू?
उन्होंने उन्होंने ज्वाइन तो मीटिंग में तो है, लेकिन उन्होंने माइक और वीडियो दोनों
हरिओम, वेलकम
आ गए।
डॉक्टर लीना जी, नमस्कार। हरिओम। कहीं कुछ टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम है। चलिए, सभी को मध्य प्रदेश स्थापना दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं सर। धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद सभी को बहुत जुड़ने के लिए। थैंक यू। गुड नाइट सर। गुड नाइट मैडम पारुल जी।
उत्तराखंड
Good night, sir जी।
स्थापना दिवस है तो उसमें उत्तराखंड वैदिक परंपरा पर भी राजीव कुरेले वगैरह से थोड़ा सा अभी से कर लीजिए।
कब?
9 नवंबर।
तो बोलिए पहले से, आवाज मेरे को कल तक दे दीजिए।
9 नवंबर को हम तो यात्रा में होंगे। राजीव कुरेले से आप कह दिए, वो विनोद शाह उपाध्याय जी का, सुनील जोशी जी का, या जो भी हमारे आर.एन. अग्रवाल साहब अभी भी हमें आशीर्वाद देते हैं, मौजूद हैं, गुरुकुल से रिटायर्ड हैं, 90 के करीब होंगे, तो वो कुरेले जी कर लेंगे। तो वो भी शास्त्र के ही हैं। कुरेले जी को याद दिला दिए कि 9 नवंबर को उत्तराखंड वैद्य परंपरा पर चर्चा होनी है।
सुनील जोशी जी नहीं?
नहीं, जो भी है, जो पहले संपर्क में आ जाए, राजीव को पकड़ेंगे, वो सबको अपने हिसाब से मैनेज कर लेंगे।
ठीक साहब। डॉक्टर लीना जी कुछ बोलेंगे? आपका माइक अनम्यूट हुआ है।
अच्छा।
हेलो।
हाँ जी, हाँ, नमस्कार।
हाँ, रोज मैं आपका ये सब सेशंस अटेंड करती हूँ और वो वेरी हेल्पफुल टू मी। मुझे बहुत आनंद होता है आप सभी से जुड़ के, और चाहती हूँ कि आगे भी ऐसा ही आपके साथ जुड़ी रहूंगी।
हम तो चाहते हैं कि आप भी बोलिए किसी विषय पे।
आगे जाके जरूर सोचूंगी।
जरूर जरूर मैडम, आपका स्वागत है। और लोगों को भी जोड़िए इसमें।
हाँ।
किसी का कोई भी कॉमर्शियल उद्देश्य निहित नहीं है।
हाँ,
हम लोग
जरूर।
सब चैरिटी के लिए, अपने सबके भले के लिए करते।
हाँ, ठीक है।
थैंक यू मैडम। आप
क्या
कहाँ
है
से
क्या?
हैं मैडम?
मैं गुजरात बड़ौदा से हूँ मैं।
बड़ौदा से। बहुत अच्छा मैडम, स्वागत। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
सर क्षमा चाहता हूँ, वाईफाई डाउन हो गया था।
हाँ, बोलिए अवस्थी जी, जरूर।
लाइट चली गई थी।
हाँ, बोलिए।
सर मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था कि मैं भांग पे चूंकि काम करता हूँ, इसलिए भांग का बीज जो है उससे ओमेगा 3, ओमेगा 6, ओमेगा 9 का परसेंटेज उसमें बहुत हाई होता है। और जितने तरह का अपने यहाँ यूज होता है ओमेगा 3, ओमेगा 6, ओमेगा 9 या कॉड लेवल ऑयल टाइप की चीजें, ये सारी वीगन नहीं होती। तो अब कंसाई ने इसको रिकॉग्नाइज किया है, तो इस पे चाहे तो लोग काम कर सकते हैं। ये एक बड़ा अच्छा विषय हो सकता है। इसके अलावा सर जो आयुर्वेद है, लगभग 80-90% तो आयुर्वेद में सारा कुछ वीगन ही है। मुझे मुझे जो लगता है वो ये चीजें लगती हैं कि 2-3 चीजें हैं जो जिस पे हमको काम करना चाहिए। जैसे हम लोग हल्दी पे काम करते हैं, आयुष भारती काम कर रही है, आरोग्य भारती काम कर रही है इस पे, और भी कि हमारे किचन से हमारा इलाज हो जाए, हमारे किचन से हमारा इलाज हो जाए। हमारे किचन से इलाज करने के लिए हम हल्दी का उपयोग करते रहे हैं 5000 सालों से, पर हमको अंग्रेज बताते हैं कि इसमें कुरकुमिन होता है जो काम करता है। हमको हमारी दवाइयों में, आयुर्वेद की दवाइयों में रिसर्च वो करके वो बताते हैं कि कौन सी चीजें ऐसी हैं जो काम करती हैं। एपीआई बेस पे आने के लिए या दवाइयों की मात्रा को कम करने के लिए हमको इन चीजों पे काम करना मुझे लगता है जरूरी है। इस पे अगर कुछ हो सके तो सभी सम्मानित जनों से निवेदन है कि थोड़ा सा इस पे एक वेबिनार हम रखें, जो बहुत अच्छा मुझे लगता है कि होगा।